Hi, this is Dani from Cradle of Filth. You can check our live show at Wacken this year on Art of Concert. Our new album's entitled Hammer of the Witches. It's loosely based on a medieval treatise, a manuscript called the Malleus Maleficarum, which was like a document which was used to prosecute witch cults and practitioners of witchcraft during the Middle Ages. Mostly a load of rubbish, really, and quite a dangerous book because of it. Very misogynistic as well, because obviously mostly women were prosecuted and subsequently killed because of it. And we kind of inverted it. So the hammer, because the definition of Malleus Maleficarum is hammer of the witches, is in the hammer is in the witch's hand. So it's about retribution, revolution, revenge, I guess, because we're not particularly a Christian band, so that moral doesn't escape us. It's conceptual, the album, but it's more like a lot of satellites. Each track's like its own little story, orbiting a main theme, but it's quite well versed in the medieval, I would say. I think we've definitely always been very deeply rooted in the occult, and if you listen to, for example, Berlioz, he had Symphonies Fantastique, which was essentially about witches gathering on the Brocken, and I think that whole ideology best sums up Cradle of Filth. We're not essentially a satanic band, we're more like a dark, fabulous band that talks about these things: vampirism, witchcraft, demonology, mythology, and expresses it utilising aspects like the feminine form. I've always been fascinated in that kind of thing. I grew up in a part of England that still live there actually, known as the Witch County. My wife and I lived in a house dated 1648 that was once visited quite often by the Witchfinder General, Matthew Hopkins. I knew a few girls that practiced witchcraft when I grew up, so it's always been a fascination for me, and just something, I've got quite an extensive library at home full of books on the subject. It's just part, I guess, of the makeup of Cradle of Filth. It's not preachy though, do you know what I mean? It's not like I'm not donning a robe and saying this is what you have to do. It's more done in a kind of storytelling aspect. We did get arrested once in the Vatican, yes. But even the Vatican saw the error of their ways. It wasn't actually our fault. Nothing ever is it? Yeah, it's always someone else's fault. But we were playing outside Rome, and they wanted a photo shoot of the band. This was shortly after Cruelty. In fact, it was the same day Cruelty and the Beast was released. We drove past St. Peter's Square, and it was empty, and they said, "Oh, let's stop, take some photos." And what they didn't realise, or we didn't realise, was that as soon as you walked onto St. Peter's Square, you're literally under the laws of the Vatican, so they can do what you want. And we were there taking pictures by this big fountain, and one of us had the Jesus shirt, another had a cheeky I Love Satan t-shirt with a big love heart, and suddenly we were, loads of armed guards screaming at us, translator giving it this. Essentially, cut a long story short, our keyboardist at the time, Lecter, always wore a priest outfit, and apparently in Italy it's illegal to impersonate a priest, and that was all they were bothered about. But the reason they let us off was because we were playing a concert with Napalm Death was supporting us, and it was like just outside Rome, and there were like 3,000 people, and they were scared of a riot. So we left a bit red-handed, and very thankful, thanking our lucky stars that we weren't, still rotting there.